The USL Jägermeister Cup final is set. The two teams have made it. Welcome to All Talk, all USL talk, USL common latest scores, news, and developments in the second highest division of the United States men's professional soccer system, the USL Championship. I'm your host, as always, Vince Galvano. Happy Monday. September 15th, special day because it's my mom's birthday. Shout out, Mom. Happy birthday. Sending much love to you, all the mothers out there as well. And, you know, if you have a birthday on September 15th, you're a cool person. I don't even have to know you. I just know that you're cool. Hey, it's September 15th, mid-September. It's down to the wire now, especially when Cup action is on its final legs. And we know October 4th is the day where we will have the USL Jägermeister Cup final. The semifinals have concluded. We have to talk Rhode Island against Sacramento. We have to talk Hartford Athletic against Greenville Triumph. What is the final looking like? We'll recap both those games and then some. August Player of the Month, yeah, we got that too. I mean, between Jansen Wilson, Gabriel Torres, Rodrigo Lopez, and Kyle Edwards, I have the name for you in case you haven't seen it on your socials or if you've just been living under a rock. And then the goal of the week this last time and just a breakdown of the games. And I mean, now we can really start sinking our teeth in to the standings, to the table. And some teams back on form. There was some 3-3 draws. There were some 0-0 draws. There were some 4-0 shutouts this weekend. I mean, wacky. I use this term not often, but I do occasionally use it when it's a wacky weekend. This was a wacky weekend. I mean, just lopsided fixtures in terms of the scorings. Plenty to get into there. And yeah, let's just keep this thing rolling. If you're liking the show, first time listening, you can find me anywhere at Talk USL on socials. You can write to me in an email, either on DMs or email at talkuslchampionship@gmail.com. Talk USL is everywhere podcasts are available. You can always support the podcast by leaving a review. And also, I'm frothing at the mouth a little bit outside of USL Championship. FC26, I'm a big gamer, so that's coming out this week. Pre-order the whole batch. I don't have any kids yet. I'm still in my late 20s. I still love these video games, and I'm looking forward to that as well. If you are also looking forward to that game, please write to me. I love to discuss also, besides USL, happy to talk video games as well. And if you're getting it for your kid out there, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I just know it. All right. August Player of the Month, ladies and gentlemen. Total vote, 31%, 29%, 24%, 16%. Very close between two players. That was Jansen Wilson and Gabriel Torres, but Wilson with 31% of the vote. Again, votes coming from fans, from media, as well as from USL committee. Each sort of sector carrying its own weight. Fan vote does take 13%, and only the media vote takes 8%. We know this, and then obviously USL vote is 10% weight. So it's quite interesting looking at this because Gabby Torres for El Paso did have lion's share of the 52% of the fan vote, which only carried 20% at the end. But hey, what had happened was Jansen Wilson, he was the one that got selected, beating out on the media side of things, tied, and then also you had big-time USL vote as well for that. I mean, the USL Championship announced this back on September 11, and he had been awarded the midfielder. Second-year professional, recorded 4 goals, 1 assist across 5 contests as Lou City went undefeated on the month, averaging a goal approximately every 108 minutes while posting a shot conversion rate of just over 30%, shooting accuracy rate of 67% approximately. He earned 31% of the weighted poll that included the USL Championship Technical Committee, which I managed there. I mentioned Gabby Torres, we talked, finished second, 29% with 2 goals, 2 assists. Lopez on third with 24% on the 2 goals and 3 assists. Kyle Edwards at the bottom there for Hartford, but Hartford's been winning anyway. What did Wilson have to say about getting the award? Well, in quotes, he said, "I'm honored to receive the Player of the Month award, but individual honors don't come without team success. Very thankful for the coaching staff, teammates who push me every day to get better and put me in spots to succeed. Looking forward to getting back to work and continuing to improve to help win some trophies come the end of the year." End quote there. Danny Cruz, head coach, had said Jansen achieving this recognition is a testament to his work as well as the team around him. So, I mean, just good, all the nice words around. He's been rocking the stash. They did some great visuals for that as well. And Lou City also back to winning form this past weekend. Continuing, trying to extend the league top of the table. We'll talk them against Pittsburgh later down the line. Goal of the week last time, then we'll cover semifinal recap. Goal of the week, we had Jack Blade, Cedeno, we had Aiden McFadden, we had Tyler Clegg, and it was a tough, between two, Aiden McFadden, who had the nice curling effort that nestled inside the far post against Rhode Island back on September 6th, but Clegg was winning that one. He had scored that goal against Monterey Bay in favor of Colorado in that 2-1 victory. That thing was a laser. If you haven't seen it, check that out. Tyler Clegg with your USL Championships fan choice goal of the week for week 27. All right, let's talk USL Jägermeister Cup semifinal recap. We were down to 4 teams. Rhode Island, Sacramento was one side of the bracket. The other side of the bracket was Hartford and Greenville. Triumph. Starting first with Rhode Island and Sacramento. It was a nail-biting Cup semifinal. Quite a bit of a stalemate. Switching the momentum a bit between the two sides. There was only 7 shots on target throughout. Possession split down the middle. Total shots pretty much split down the middle. Big chances split down the middle. So it was a tight game. 5,000 in attendance in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It had the feel of a classic knockout tie. It was tense, tactical, razor thin. Rhode Island did nearly strike first in the 7th minute. Max Rodriguez curled a free kick around the wall, but Jared Mazzola of Sacramento read it perfectly and pushed it away. At the other end, Michael Benitez tested Coque Vegas with a dipping free kick that forced a full stretch punch, while Corey Bennett thought he had the opener only for the flag to cut short the celebration. So just a woozy offside goal. The Domino Club, they did grow stronger as the half wore on. Piranha's cross picked out Russell Cicerone, whose low drive was saved before Lopez's corner saw Lee Desmond's header whistle wide. By the break, Sacramento had 7 shots and all the momentum, but the scoreboard remained frozen. 0-0. Second half tightened even more. Rhode Island brought on some fresh legs. They nearly stole a lead when Joe Brito, substitute, fired from distance only for Mazzola to gather it calmly. Then, in the 82nd minute, it was Mazzola again racing off his line to smother Rodriguez's chance inside the box. Defining moment of the match. Sacramento's last gasp came in the 88th when Jack Gurr volleying Rodrigo Lopez's long ball on target, but Vegas right there equal to it. Neither side able to break through after 90 minutes. The semifinal went to penalties. Sacramento veterans on the 3, Lopez, Cicerone, and Benitez, all converting with composure. Rhode Island, by contrast, faltered a bit under the pressure. Rodriguez and Williams missed, and then Fuson saw his shot saved, and when Mazzola made the final stop, it was official. Sacramento booking their place in the Jägermeister Cup final with a 3-0 shootout triumph after a goalless draw in regulation. Mazzola's 3 saves in open play were as crucial as his shootout heroics. Republic's 5th clean sheet of the tournament underlines, obviously, the defensive pedigree. From Rhode Island's side, Rodriguez looked dangerous, as he typically does in these kind of big field games, especially in tournaments for Rhode Island so far. Definitely a player to keep under the watch if Rhode Island qualify for the playoffs postseason. Coque Vegas kept Rhode Island in with 4 saves, including Gurr's late volley. But at the end, 10 shots, 4 on target for Sacramento, 5 corners, 19 fouls. Rhode Island, 9 shots, 3 on target, 3 corners, 18 fouls. So quite cut in the middle, but yeah, first half, especially towards tail end, Sacramento did have the solid momentum, but it was back and forth, even more so second half. Good game. We had predicted Sacramento would make it through, and they're in the final now, representing the West of the USL. Then we had the other side of the bracket, Hartford taking on Greenville. Triumph. Greenville, the lone soldier of the USL League One side, the one that had made it all the way through. This game was crazy. All late goals, all second half goals. We're going to break it down. But Greenville were resistant. Give them credit. Here we go. First 45 minutes, Trinity Health Stadium in Connecticut. It seemed like it might grind its way to penalties just from the first 45 minutes. Hartford dominated the ball, nearly 2/3 possession, but they couldn't break down the visitors' low block. Crossing, missed their targets. Passing lanes were closed. Greenville looked content to spring counters, but these counters never really materialized. The tension, though, finally cracked in the 70th minute. That's how long it took, over an hour of play. A foul on Jonathan Jimenez, giving Hartford a dangerous free kick. Sebastian Anderson whipping in the delivery, and guess who's there? The man himself, Joe Farrell, rising highs, powering home a header to put the Latics ahead. The lead, though, lasted only minutes. Greenville answered from their own set piece. Zane Bubb heading the ball across goal, and Evan Lee poked it past Richard Rankenberg to level the score. Hartford's response was instant, though, and decisive. 1-1 going into the 85th minute. Ingalina bursting down the right, drilling across the box. Boom. Kyle Edwards' initial shot saved. The rebound falling to Marlon Hairston, burying it to restore the advantage, and the whole place going crazy. I mean, a lot of people at Trinity Health Stadium on the Wednesday night there. But then Greenville had to push forward, all men forward, and a loose pass giving way to the Nigerian. Shades of Obafemi Martin bursting into space. Ingalina with a clear runaway. He sprinted through, kept his composure, goes to shoot it, I believe, low, left side. Defender comes across, hits off the defender's leg, but rockets right past the goalkeeper near post, and he's off doing flips. Hartford's third, seeing a 3-1 victory, sending the Hartford Athletic into the final. Incredible stuff. And Galena, the difference maker, creating the second goal, scoring the third himself. Joe Farrell, towering header to break the deadlock. Man, oh man. I mean, Rankenberg, several solid stops, including denied Kyle Edwards before Harrison's goal. And man, oh man, I mean, you just asked your question, is this Hartford's tournament? Genuine silverware contenders? Is it just a hot streak? Even without Mamadou Dieng, this team is looking really, really solid. Plenty of goals this weekend as well when they took on Monterey Bay. It's just perfect strides, firing on all cylinders. They're the real deal. And defense held steady. They dominated this game as expected. And Marlon Hairston summed up the mood afterwards, saying, from the blazing musket, this Oliver Scholes was all the coverage here. Saying, quote, "We stuck together for 90 plus minutes to do it here in front of our fans, making history. We are not done yet." There it is. So Hartford and Sacramento advancing fits the arc of their respective seasons. This coming from Nicholas Murray on the Rondo, the official USL newsletter. When Athletic began its campaign, think about it, late April, it had only won once in league play. Now the squad vying for a top 4 place in the Eastern Conference, reaching the first final in club history. Republic, meanwhile, has seen new head coach Neil Collins take it to the brink of its first trophy since its inaugural season title back in 2014. Exactly as was the plan upon his arrival last off-season. And then you have unlikely stars. For Republic, goalkeeper Jared Mazzola, making the most of his opportunity to start throughout the competition, allowing only 1 goal or racking up a save percentage of 95.5%. Hairston, meanwhile, equaling his career goal total in the USL Championship with 2 tallies in the knockout stage, having previously found the net against San Antonio back in the quarters. Now things are going to be headed west. The sides will meet for just the 3rd time in their histories with a trophy on the line. The final, Saturday, October 4th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, at Heart Health Park in Sacramento, streaming for free on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Even on a Wednesday night in the post-game afterglow of victory, the idea of a packed stadium, trophy on the line was already on the minds of the players. I mean, from Matsola's side, he said, quote, "It means the world to all of us. Playing a cup game with our entire families there would be absolutely incredible. Having the whole squad home for one of these games, to finally have the fans backing us, behind us for the city of Sacramento getting a cup final would just be unreal." End quote there. USL Jägermeister Cup only in its 2nd edition. Reminder, we talked about this at length in the beginning of the season. This is the first time which USL Championship clubs have participated. Even with that newness, there's excitement about the tournament for those involved. The reactions of the victors, the vanquished in the knockout stage, they've shown how quickly the competition has become relevant in the rhythm of the season. So increasing the number of games of consequence for clubs and giving fans memorable moments to remember. I mean, for everyone involved, clearly the final is an opportunity they'll be ready for. In addition to that, just other news that had come out. Regular season match flexed to week 34 to accommodate Jägermeister Cup final. This came out obviously this week. USL Championship announced that the week 31 regular season match between Sacramento and Charleston Battery, which was originally scheduled for Sunday, October 5th, will now be played on Wednesday, October 22nd at Heart Health Stadium. Kickoff for the match will be 10 p.m. Eastern there, 7 Pacific. So the match had been flexed to the final week of the regular season due to Sacramento Republic competing in the final against Hartford. Again, that game, the final, October 4th, Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Tickets for the original match, by the way, if you had them for Charleston Battery, will be honored for the rescheduled date as well that Wednesday. Let's get into the USL Match Week. Let's get into it. New Mexico United taking on Detroit City FC. Only approximately 7,300 people in attendance on Wednesday night. This was the only midweek game that was taking place in the USL Championship this past week. New Mexico United wasting no time to light up the night in Albuquerque, smashing Detroit City 4-0 here. 5 minutes in, it was Zico Bailey stunning the crowd with a jaw-dropping 55-yard strike after catching the goalkeeper off of his line. That would really set the tone. From there on, Chris Gloster, doubling the lead in the 20th minute, finished cooling off a rebound from Dayon Harris's shot. Harris wasn't done. Its corner of the 69th minute found Greg Hurst for United's third, and the dying seconds of stoppage time, Ousmane Jabang slipping in Valentin Noel, who calmly slotted it past the keeper to seal the emphatic victory with the win. United leaped back into third place in the Western Conference. Things are tight over there, setting up a massive clash with the top of the table Tulsa this weekend. That was kind of what was taking place, where they were positioning themselves. But hey, key point here, Bailey's wonder goal, 55-yard strike in the 5th minute, most likely will be the goal of the week next time around. Tambakis, the goalkeeper in between the pipes, returned to 11 for New Mexico United. He tied the all-time USL Championship record for career clean sheets, so congratulations to him. That was Bradley Benson of KRQE News 13 with the coverage. We'll jump right in. I don't mind jumping into the weekend, jumping right into New Mexico taking on Tulsa again. So there was a back-to-back game they were hosting. This time around, 9,000 in attendance, a top-of-the-table side against New Mexico United, who were holding that position for large parts of the season so far. So coming off of the thrashing against Detroit, now taking on the big guys, and this game was a tight one. New Mexico dominating possession 70% approximately towards the end. 11 shots for the host, 10 shots for the visitors. Only 3 shots have found their way on target throughout the entire course of the game. They outplayed Tulsa, but they just couldn't find the breakthrough. And despite controlling much of the action, they fall 1-0. Tulsa winning the game via stoppage time own goal by Sergio Rivas. The strike in injury time sealing the away win for Tulsa, leaving United frustrated after dominating long stretches. Yeah, an own goal heartbreak there. Rivas deflecting a long throw into his own net late in stoppage time. But, Tulsa, they withstood the pressure. They had some defensive resolve. They stayed compact, earning an ugly but vital road victory. And that'll just, extend a little bit of that gap between themselves and the rest of the Western Conference. That was the other game for New Mexico. An up and then a down. Let me go back and forth here, which was one of the craziest first halves, I think, all season. Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting Colorado Springs Switchbacks, approximately 4,000 in attendance. And it was a 6-goal thriller at Al Lang Stadium. Tampa striking first in the 8th minute through Paul Marie, but Juan Tejada answering for the visitors with a towering header in the 17th. The Rowdies quickly regaining control with 2 goals in 4 minutes. Wubens Passius in the 21st, Robert Castellanos in the 25th. They go 3-1 up. But Tejada not done. The Panamanian forward grabbing his brace in the 32nd minute, spinning and firing to cut the deficit to 1 before halftime. So 3-2 going into the second half. And Marco Micaletto in the 58th minute, Switchbacks pushing hard. He delivered the equalizer, slotting home Isaiah Foster's cross to secure a point on the road. 2 of Tampa's 3 goals coming from aerial deliveries, though, exposing a defensive weakness perhaps for the Switchbacks. Second half grit, obviously, for Colorado, controlling the tempo, really adjusted themselves a bit better second half. And it was a great back and forth game. Tree thriller. Wasn't the last time you had a 3-3 thriller this weekend. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC news release there via our Sports Central with the coverage. I said 4-0 for New Mexico taking on Detroit. How about this? 4-0 for the visitors at Cardinal Stadium. Monterey Bay hosting Hartford Athletic, off the cusp of making it into the USL Jägermeister Cup final. Now they're back into the league play, and they turned a tight contest into a statement win, routing this one 4-0, which was crazy. I mean, in the first half, it was only 1-0 in favor of Hartford. Jack Panayotu's curling strike in the 24th minute, setting the tone. It stayed close until the final stages. Then explosive finish from Hartford Athletic. Kyle Edwards bagging a brace in the 85th and 92nd minutes, respectively, before Sebastian Anderson sealing it. The stoppage time blast. Monterey Bay did have moments of pressure. They had the possession, 57% of the night, but defense and goalkeeper Anthony Sia held firm. The former Monterey shot stopper himself, delivering 3 saves in the night, claiming dangerous crosses as well. High claims a lot. 9th clean sheet of the season, while Hartford's attacks obviously punishing late, peaking at the right time. Hartford Athletic there. News release from our Sports Central Hartford Athletic website as well. Then back to the other 3-3 thriller, which was Charleston taking on Oakland at Patriots Point. 4,000 in attendance here. They announced, by the way, Charleston on Thursday, prior to going into this, that they acquired forward Wesley Leggett via transfer from Loudoun United FC. As part of the transaction, Loudoun receives a 2026 USL Championship international roster slot. Transaction was completed prior to the league's roster freeze on Monday, September 8th. Leggett arrives in Charleston after spending 3 seasons with Loudoun, where he made 90 appearances across all comps. Since debuting back in 2023, he's tallied 17 goals, 8 assists across all comps as well. He enjoyed the breakout campaign in 2024, where he racked up 10 goals, 4 assists in league and cup play, making him Loudoun's co-leading scorer that year. It was back in 2024 now, representing Charleston Battery. And in this one, well, Charleston Battery's 10-game home winning streak came to an end, but not before Rubio Rubin salvaging a point in dramatic fashion. It was a packed Patriots Point. Charleston battled Oakland 3-3 here. Cal Jennings and D. Myers putting the Battery in control early, but Oakland roaring back with 2 rapid goals themselves in the second half. A double from Wilson. Peter Wilson, by the way, has just been outstanding for Oakland, leading so far in terms of shots and target as well as big chances created. Comparison to his teammates. But, what was very interesting, with time slipping away, Rubin coming off the bench to deliver the tying goal, ensuring the Battery walked away with something on the night. Rubin's impact, veteran striker, showing his value off the bench, rescuing Charleston in high-pressure moments. Yeah, keeping the unbeaten streak going, especially at home. Elsewhere, another 2, not a 3-3 draw, but a 2-2 draw between Sacramento Republic and Phoenix Rising. In this one, it looked as if Sacramento, also off the cusp, making it to the final, they were going to go through, no problem in this one, because Cicerone getting the lead going in the 20th minute. Okello then an own goal in the 32nd. And then it was like 2-0 going into the second half, but Phoenix trying to claw back into it, adding more pressure, and then they would get a penalty kick in the 59th minute. Remy Cabral tucking it home, and then 20 minutes later in the 79th, Sacco, boom, equalizing in favor of Phoenix Rising. What didn't help, surely, was that Sacramento were down to 10 men at that point since Bennett had got the red card in the 75th minute, but this one at Hart Health Park in front of 11,500 people approximately ended in a stalemate there. Phoenix able to crawl their way back into that one. Then you have Las Vegas taking on Miami. This was also a scoreless draw. Well, a draw, I should say. Cashman Field, it was both sides, you can say, struggling to find rhythm in the final third. Defenses holding strong. Goalkeepers rarely tested, albeit both sides did have 5 shots on target tonight. A lot of them blocked, though. 7 yellow cards were handed out, underscoring a tense stop-starter fail. Fouls outnumbering quality chances. You can say both teams failing to register a decisive moment in front of the goal, but substitutions doing little to spark creativity. And Tommy McNamara, though, had a delicious free kick from 35 yards out in the first half that smacked the crossbar. But points shared, stakes rising for Miami and Las Vegas, both outside the playoff picture. The draw represents a missed opportunity to close some ground. ESPN match report there. Pittsburgh taking on Lou City. This one, well, Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh And Louisville, no problem for them. They continue its dominance. It was a cagey first half, but they came alive in the second. Kevin Lambert, fresh off international duty, poking home from close range in the 50th minute corner. Late on, substitute Adrian Perez sealing the deal in the 87th, finishing off a swift counter with Jansen Wilson, August Player of the Month, providing the assist. The victory not only clinched a top 2 finish in the East, guaranteeing Lou City will have home matches throughout at least the conference semifinals, but also stretching their lead in the Players' Shield race to 6 points after Charleston dropped points against, Oakland at home. We just talked about it, so boom. Good win there. Louisville's 12-game unbeaten run in Pittsburgh underscores their dominance in the rivalry. Damian Lass returned from injury, made 4 saves to earn Lou City's 3rd clean sheet in 4 matches. They certainly are the favorite for the Players' Shield. They're in pole position, and I think they can just ride this one out for the remainder of the season until October and get really geared up for the playoffs. Lou City there, communications via their official website. We covered New Mexico taking on Tulsa. Other games, though, Rhode Island taking on Indy 11. It was a gritty 1-0 home win in Pawtucket at Centerville Bank Stadium. The breakthrough coming in the 64th minute when Noah Fuson's driven cross was turned into its own net by Indy's James Musa. From there, Rhode Island leaning on goalkeeper Koke Vegas. He made some nice stops. I think the crazy thing was that Indy nearly equalized late, but Vegas denied Jack Blake's free kick and watched Grant Stoneman throw his body in front of Elvis Amo's stoppage time effort on the goal line. The win pushing Rhode Island back into 8th place above the playoff line. 6 matches left in the regular season for them. That's why I say really it's gut check time now. But with the win, it was a very good win because Rhode Island leapfrogging Indy 11 to reclaim that final spot in the table. That coveted 8th spot, top 8 finish to get into the playoffs. Lexington taking on OC. In this one, Orange County digging deep, though, earning a road point in Lexington. It was Orange County battling to the 1-1 draw, weathering heavy pressure Lexington on the night, relying on grit, discipline to secure a valuable point. I mean, they stunned the host in the first half of stoppage time with Nico Benalcazar setting up Bryce Jamison, who coolly finished things off over the keeper. They led going into the second half, but Lexington kept pushing, finally equalized in the 50th minute through Forster's Ayago's towering header. We can also say the host dominated possession and peppered the box with shots, but OC's defense, anchored by Ashton Miles' goal line clearance, Benalcazar's leadership, holding firm to close out the result. Points earned, though, with just 38% of the possession, 4 total shots. Orange County's draw was built on resolve and structure rather than attacking volume. Shout out to Bryce Jameson, scored his 2nd of the season. Ayago for Lexington, then his 5th of the year. Ashton Miles providing that critical goal line clearance to keep OC alive in this one. OC Communications there via their official website. 2 more games to cover before we take a look at the table and next matches. Loudoun United starting brightly at Segra Field when taking on San Antonio. They 21st minute lead through Ordonez after a slick link up with Ben Mines, but the night turned in first half stoppage time when Pedro Santos was sent off, leaving Loudoun to defend their advantage a man down. And that's when it was just a crazy second half. San Antonio roared back after Brakeman Dronda's volley, leveling the score in the 58th, and then Patino adding another just minutes later. Loudoun briefly equalized at 2-2 via an own goal forced by Keegan Tingy. But then, with only 10 men, they could not hold on. San Antonio pouring in 3 unanswered goals. Starting first in the 77th minute, courtesy of a penalty from Javier Hernandez, then Neville in the 90th minute, and Javier Hernandez when 90 plus 11, really dying moments to get the brace and ensure that San Antonio walk away this one. 5 goals to the good. Loudoun Human Communications team there via Our Sports Central. Ordonez has solid form at the moment, scoring his 4th goal in as many matches. A bright spot for the host. But red card swing, second half collapse, really, which was a summary there. And San Antonio were happy to take the goals and the 3 points back to San Antonio. North Carolina taking on El Paso. Conway's strike, though, lifting North Carolina past 10-man El Paso. You'd want to talk about 45th red card for Pedro Santos. How about this 14th minute red card for Akwe, which was crazy. I mean, Wahab Akwe sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity in the 14th minute. It's too early to do that. Despite the disadvantage, though, visitors stayed compact. They frustrated until, though, Pedro de la Bella's clever flick freed Conway, who buried his chance across frame to put the host in pretty much right before the first half whistle blew. El Paso, though, to their credit, nearly leveled at the hour mark, hitting the crossbar before Connor Donovan's heroic goal line clearance kept the clean sheet intact for North Carolina. But yeah, an early red card changed the tone. North Carolina holding firm to bank the 3 vital points in their playoff push. Evan Conway also celebrated his 10,000th USL career minute on the night as well. So, hey, boom, boom, boom. Nice tap there. North Carolina FC news release there via Our Sports Central. Let's take a look at the league table. Starting first in the East, Lou City way up there, 57 points to the good, 6 points ahead of Charleston Battery after the 2-0 win against Pittsburgh. Charleston the second, 51. Then you have that tremendous gap in third place. After 24 matches played, it is Loudoun United in third with 37 points. In fourth place, North Carolina, 36 points with a game in hand over all of their counterparts. In fifth, Hartford Athletic with 35 points. Sixth, Detroit with 32 points. Seventh, Pittsburgh with 31 points. And then a bit of a 4-point gap, and that's the eighth spot. I'm talking Rhode Island in there with 27 points to the good. Right behind them, though, just by a point, is Indy 11. Then you have Tampa Bay and Birmingham, respectively, both on 22 points with a match in hand over Indy 11, over Rhode Island. Bottom of the table, though, Miami FC with 21 points after 24 matches played. No game in hand for them. Western side of things, well, we know what happened. Tulsa scrubbed out a victory in New Mexico, and man, oh man, they're looking quite comfortable at the top of the Western Conference table, similar to Lou City on their side. 46 points to the good. Although Sacramento in second place with a game in hand, 38 points for Sacramento, 33 points in third place for New Mexico, as well as San Antonio with the same amount of points. Then you go to the bottom four of those playoff spots. El Paso in fifth with 32 points. Lexington in sixth with 32 points. Pretty much the same, but El Paso with a game in hand over Lexington. Then in eighth place, 31 points. That's the magic number. Colorado with 31, as well as Phoenix with 31. Bottom four of the Western Conference. Right outside. Here we go. So Phoenix, we know, has 31 points. Orange County, 2 points behind, 29 points. But OC has only 22 games played, the least amount of any team in the USL Championship. So 2 games in hand over their counterparts of Phoenix. Then from there, 4-point gap. Bottom 3 teams, the Western Conference. 25 points for Las Vegas after 24 matches played. 25 points for Oakland after 23 matches played. And Monterey Bay at the bottom of the Western Conference with 24 points for 25 matches played, the most out of any team in the USL Championship. They're on a 3-loss streak at the moment. Next up is New Mexico United. So that'll be very interesting how that happens and so forth there. Cal Jennings still on top in terms of the score chart, 15 goals to the good. Avievu is tied with assists with Juan David Torres. That's how things are looking on those charts. I should also mention clean sheets, and I have no problem in terms of bringing that up, just looking right now. In terms of clean sheets on the defensive side of things, well, look no further than Sacramento Republic's own Danny Vitiello. Meanwhile, he's got 10. Rosarena for Las Vegas also has 10. Eric Dick with 9, as well as Anthony Siaha. Coca Vegas, by the way, with 8 clean sheets. Only 14 goals conceded for Rhode Island in the course of the USL Championship season. Next matches, as we close things out here, well, we'll have some midweek matches. Only really one Wednesday. Birmingham hosting Tampa Bay Rowdies at 9:30 a.m. Wednesday. 6:30 a.m. Pacific. I don't know why that's the case. I don't know how many people will be in attendance. Probably not too much, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm kind of confused. Not gonna lie. But hey, 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday. That's Eastern time. Miami then on Friday will host Rhode Island at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Same time you'll have on Saturday. Hartford Athletic hosting Pittsburgh at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, same time. Saturday, September 20th, Detroit hosting Lexington. Half an hour later, you have Lou City hosting Las Vegas. Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting North Carolina, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. 5 p.m. Eastern, you'll have Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on Sacramento Republic FC, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 1:30 Pacific, you'll have San Antonio hosting Orange County. Then, boom, 6 p.m. Eastern. 2 Pacific, you'll have El Paso hosting Charleston Battery. An hour later, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, Phoenix Rising hosting Loudoun United FC. Oakland hosting Tulsa. Monterey Bay hosting New Mexico. And then on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific, and the 11 host Birmingham Legion. That's what will pretty much do it here for us at Talk USL. Thanks as always for listening, everyone. That's really your weekly catch-up, though. But yeah, for a lot of these teams, 6 games, 5 games left. We'll see what happens. 7 games left. It's got jet time. Hope everyone has a great week. All the best.